Yo, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you lads and lasses. What's going on? Sorry we're a little bit late, folks. Couple of big things swinging in off the vine that I had to get set up on here to show you and talk about. So it took a little bit longer than usual to get going. But how's it going, peeps? Good to see you all. Thank you for joining and getting in the stream. Let's see what legends are among us. Hello to everybody who's in the chat and been waiting patiently for us to get going here. 50-odd legends already waiting here. Berber, what's going on, you Don? Primot, Chris Swift, Must Play, Philip Chapman, Compost Smurf, how you doing? Mohammed, Mark N. Get in there, superstar. Primot, what's happening? J United, Chris Barker, Dynamic Melon. Good to see you, the Hoop Man. Good to see you. What's going on? We've also got Anthony Ong. Yes, indeed. Langy86, let's go, you legend. Johnny, how you going? Billy, let's go, mate. Mark Coughlin, Kieran, Kingslayer, Duke of Rodtown, that American guy. Oh, yeah. Arctic Jacko, Satwant Singh, the Vootinator. Nice one. The Vootinator says we've got 42 likes already. Keep hitting the likes, guys. Do drop a thumbs up on this stream at the start of the show if you haven't done so already. That would be immense, and that will help us out on the old YouTube algorithm. So drop a cheeky little like on this video. It's free to smash the thumbs up. And give us a share. We've pinned the tweet to the top of the live chat on Twitter. You can go over there and give us a retweet. We'll shout you out later on in the show. Everyone who gives us a retweet on Twitter. By the way, what's with this new X thing on Twitter? They've got rid of the little birdie and they've replaced it with an X icon. What's Elon Musk smoking on, guys? Do you know what I mean? It's called Twitter because birds tweet. That's why there's a little blue badge. A little blue badge of a birdie. It's iconic. Okay, it's not a Cardiff City supporters club. It's iconic. It's a birdie. I don't understand why he's changed it to an X all of a sudden, this guy. Oh my goodness me. Anyway. There you go. He's having a mare, isn't he? What's he doing, old Elon there? Spent 40 billion on bloody Twitter. He's completely just changed it and made it Gasher. What's the matter with this guy? Might as well have just made his own bloody... Might well have made his own bloody social media company if he was going to do that. Anyway, the Hoop Man, what's going on? Arctic Jacko, someone saying, rant over about Elon Musk destroying Twitter. Carlos Solis, what's up? John Boy Cat. Ricardo Miller. Hello, I hope it's just a temporary thing. Yeah, it's symbolic as an X like in Family Fortunes. Yeah, maybe so. Very strange behaviour from Elon. He wants us to give him the X hub. It's quite strange, isn't it? It's very, very strange. Ember Glance, hello to you. Everyone as well, thank you very much for joining and getting in the stream. Gungshi, a legend, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. Slurp King, Ben Bray, Welsh Red, everybody else as well. Thank you for joining. Yes, like, subscribe, comment. Got a lot to get into today. Avram Glazer getting in here like an absolute parasite that he is. And he says this. He says, sale is off. All fans love me, right? Okay, Avram Glazer, get out, my son. Aussie, Australia, are you giving yourself up now? Avram Glazer's not in Australia, mate. Oh, my goodness me. Anyway, thank you very much for the $2 Aussie there, mate. Fair play to you. Now do one. Glazers out. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So we're here to discuss the transfer news, guys. We've got plenty to get in today. Loads and loads of transfer dealings going on. Not all of it really that great, to be honest, from Man United's point of view, but maybe we could surprise ourselves. We'll see. We might be in for a couple of players. We'll have a little look and see what's going on today and have a look at the landscape. So, I mean, the big story of the day, I suppose, is involving Kylian Mbappe. So Kylian Mbappe is obviously his situation over there at PSG is that he's a very naughty boy and they don't want him any longer because they feel like he has a relationship with Real Madrid and he has already agreed to join them in a year's time for free. And so they don't want to continue with this guy at their football club whilst they stand to lose a huge asset for such a, an insignificant amount of money, i.e. nothing. So in a year's time, obviously, his contract runs out and he could, of course, go and join Real Madrid. So they want to cash in now. So they're listening to offers from different football clubs. And it's understood, obviously, that PSG have made Kylian Mbappe for sale. Thank you, Langy86, you hero. Let's go. He's got a cheeky little pussycat emoji in there, my friend. Thank you so much, Langy86 there, my son, for the super sticker of the pussycat. Thank you, Langy. Hope you're good today, my friend. Thank you very much for that, lad. Let's get some pussycat emojis in the live chat. Meow. So, the Kane situation is as, he's quite likely to obviously leave PSG this summer. for big money, guys. And there's loads of info coming out about that. So check this out, guys. Here's a little tweet. And obviously we can have a look and see what's going on with this. So it's malfunctioned. That's not good. That's really not good, guys. It's malfunctioned. Let me see if I can fix that. It has seemingly... Oh, there you go. So, it malfunctioned. And it's malfunctioned again, guys. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. There we go. Yes. There we go, guys. Big Mbappe news. This is from James Robson. PSG give permission for him to talk to Al Hilal over in Saudi Arabia. But they're not the only team to show interest. There are reports that United among those to have supposedly expressed an interest, but unlikely they or anyone else could come close to Al Hilal. Now that sounds like absolute horseshite to me that Manchester United have expressed an interest in Mbappe. I mean, I guess we've expressed an interest in Mbappe like I would express an interest in Margot Robbie. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean we're going to get her. You know what I'm saying? I've expressed an interest in her, but she's rejected me many times. Many times. So, you know, that's what's happened there. And also, obviously, the amount of money involved here is obscene, which Manchester United won't be able to reach. But as I say, I mean, Mbappe wants to go from PSG soon enough. Here's another tweet from Fabrizio Romano that says that exclusive Al Hilal have submitted a formal bid to Paris Saint-Germain in order to open talks for Kylian Mbappe. Understand it's worth 300 million euros, a record fee. No talks on the player side. PSG remain convinced that Mbappe already agreed terms with Real Madrid with contract ready. So that's pretty obscene, isn't it? 300 million euros to take Kylian Mbappe to the Saudi Arabian League from Al Hilal. I mean, that is absolutely obscene. And I think it's fair to say that nobody else could really compete with that amount of money. At this moment, nobody's going to go and spend that amount of money on him. Plus, you're talking about obscene amounts of cash that you have to pay this guy weekly just to get him to play for your football club. The wages would be absolutely astronomical. So there's only a handful of clubs in world football that could realistically even afford to sign Kylian Mbappe right now. He may well have agreed a cheeky little free transfer in a year's time to Real Madrid and keeping it hush-hush until then. Obviously, at the time when his contract runs out, PSG might be going ready to join Real. But this could obviously turn his head. I mean, there's some reports to suggest that he could be given an absolutely record-breaking world record amount of money per week as well, which it probably would be. We've seen Benzema over in the Saudi Arabian League being offered a couple of €100 million a year. Well, if Mbappe goes to Saudi Arabia, he stands to absolutely dwarf that figure in terms of a weekly salary received. So pretty outrageous transfer news today, guys, in regards to Kylian Mbappe. Yeah, some people reporting that Manchester United are interested in this guy, like Duncan Castles. Might as well be going building sand castles on the beach in 60-mile-an-hour winds with this news, though, this guy. He says that Kylian Mbappe, Al Hilal, written offer of 300 million euros transfer fee to Paris Saint-Germain. They say they've received inquiries from Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham, and Inter, plus Barcelona. So that's an absolute load of bollocks. I mean, I don't really know where these people are getting this information from, obviously. Tottenham! Inter! These guys haven't got the money! And also Manchester United haven't got the money. We haven't got 300 million euros, put it that way, to spend on one player, I don't think. And we haven't got Sheikh Jassim in here at this moment in time. So just outrageous story coming here from Mr. Sandcastles himself. Got as much rigidity as a sandcastle, this story as well. You know, it's obviously understood that Kylian Mbappe wants Real Madrid. Plenty of different outlets have said that that's his preferred destination, and it makes the most sense. Real Madrid's one of the premier clubs in world football when it comes to the history and the accolades and being able to win things. So, of course, you know, it's expected that he would want to go and play for Real Madrid if they can afford him. And that is a big if, because it only looks like at the moment in time that Saudi Arabian teams are able to afford him because I guess financial fair play doesn't apply to them, which is a disgrace. Because how can Al Hilal justify spending 300 million euros on anybody when their income is probably about that of the average sort of cost cutter corner shop? Don't understand it. Very strange. Very strange. So there you go. But they are obviously spending huge money over there in Saudi Arabia. They can tempt Kylian Mbappe there. We've seen players like Benzema, Cristiano Ronaldo, these guys go over there. So why not Mbappe? Maybe it suits Kylian Mbappe to go over there for one season as well, or even 2 seasons, just to get away from PSG, because PSG are kind of like castigating him right now. Not castrating, guys. They are kind of like, obviously, playing hardball with him at this moment in time because they don't want to lose him for nothing. And there's even been some sort of backlash from like players' unions and stuff over in France to say that they're treating him a little bit poorly and all this stuff. I mean, look, they've got an asset here which they don't want to lose for nothing, and so therefore they're trying to get rid of him as soon as possible. That's how it is. All's fair in love and war and football. So they're trying to get rid of Kylian Mbappe for big money. If they have got an offer on the table for this amount of money, then they would be absolutely foolish to try and keep him for. Obviously, they're going to sell him, aren't they? But as I say, here's another report that says that Manchester United, amongst other clubs, have shown an interest in signing Kylian Mbappe. However, Real Madrid remain the clear favourites for the player. Don't see Real Madrid signing him this summer. I guess it could happen, but if they've already agreed something for the future with Kylian Mbappe under the table where maybe he would join them for free, then obviously they're not going to want to do that. But money talks and bullshit walks, and obviously money could turn Kylian Mbappe's head. So it's highly likely, if there is a big offer from Saudi and they're prepared to pay him. I saw a report earlier that said that Kylian Mbappe could receive somewhere up to 700 million euros for going to play over in Saudi Arabia for a couple of seasons, which is just absolutely redonkulous. You're almost a billionaire just for playing football in the desert for a couple of years. I mean, obviously, if that's the case, you're probably going to do that. At his age, when he's still got the future ahead of him, when he can still go and sign for a club like Real Madrid and actually add to his legacy for the future and maybe win some trophies that actually mean something, why not just set yourself up to be, a ridiculous billionaire for a season or 2, over there in Saudi Arabia? It makes a heck of a lot of sense, doesn't it? So if that is the genuine offer that's on the table, which I don't know how that could possibly be the case, because how can they justify paying any one player that amount of money for 1 or 2 seasons or whatever the case may be? I mean, obviously, the reality is that is speculative guff. So you've seen it, 700 million euros a season. That is speculative guff that people are reporting there, just to let you guys know. Nobody's obviously got a direct line to these contract proposals and stuff. It's absolute nonsense. 700 million a year, do one. You know what I mean that might be the case, I suppose, in terms of like absolute add-ons and things like that, with maybe they're giving them a piece of the pie. You saw the deal that PSG did with Kylian Mbappe. Very strange. You can't pay people that amount of money. I mean, what is financial fair play? I know it doesn't apply to these Saudi Arabian leagues for some reason. I don't know why, but it's absolutely unreal. I mean, obviously anybody, no matter who they're playing for or who they could play for, would go and play in Saudi Arabia for one season for 700 million euros. Of course you would. Doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, what legacy you care about. It doesn't matter. 700 million euros. It's got to be bullshit, guys. It's got to be bullshit. It has to be. But then again, Benzema's reportedly on 200 million euros a season. So maybe it's not bullshit. Anyway, peeps, so, you have to understand that Kylian Mbappe obviously is probably going to go this summer from PSG. Real Madrid, they're not going to go and compete with that. Manchester United are not going to go and compete with that. It's down to Kylian Mbappe and what he wants. As I say, the amount of money that these guys are being offered over there, it's hard to imagine a reality where he doesn't want to go and play his football if it's reported that that's the amount of money, So, big news there about Kylian Mbappe, and as it is, Al Hilal are the team to go and get him. If that's the case, PSG reportedly very, very keen. Look at this. Obviously, PSG give permission for him to talk to Al Hilal. So that basically means that they'd be happy with that transfer offer if Mbappe's going to go. If Mbappe wants to go to Saudi Arabia, of course they'd be happy with that amount of money, guys. 300 million euros proposed, like 259 million pounds, whatever it may be. Absolutely outrageous figures. It's destroying football, this whole Saudi Arabian guff. Let's just talk about it. Let's say it how it is, guys. They're absolutely destroying the game. This is ridiculous. I mean, the amount of money that they're proposing for players, they're snatching up all the talents in football, but they're actually ruining the landscape of the game. Because what's going to happen, it's already a ridiculous money game. It's already the sort of game that, you've got to pay 60, 70 million pounds for average players. Mason Mount going between Chelsea United for 60 million. Kai Havertz, 65 million. Now you're talking about hundreds of millions for players and paying them that amount of money. How is this going to happen for an extended period of time in the future? Surely all the leagues are going to be barren and everyone's going to have to go and play in Saudi Arabia because that's where all the money's at. And how are these leagues around the world going to compete with it? Something has to be done. The governing bodies need to step in here and say, do you know what? Chill your boots there, Saudi Arabia. This is ridiculous what you're doing to the game. You know, everybody's going to be going over there for the money, and what's going to happen is that going to have a massive knock-on effect. It's like these Chelsea wankers when they came in with Roman Abramovich all over again. They're going out there and they're signing everybody that they want for big money and ruining the game and bringing the game into disrepute. And then slowly what happens is you've got to keep up with the Joneses, so then all the other teams have to go and spend big money and pay big wages, and it just fucking ruins the game completely. So we've got to see an end to this, I think. Surely they've got to step in. The governing bodies, FIFA, everybody has to step in and say, stop it now, Saudi Arabia, you're being silly. We've got to put some caps on the amount of money that they can pay, surely. Listen, I get it. It's an open market. There's free movement, all that sort of stuff. You know, but come on, they're just going to literally make the game unsustainable at this stage. If they do that. So I'm dead against it. I'm dead against seeing people like Kylian Mbappe move to Saudi Arabia for 300 million euros, getting paid hundreds of millions of euros a year. It ruins the game. Understand what they're trying to do over there. They've got the money. They're not short of a few bob, and they're trying to grow their product. And they're trying to compete, actually. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses, the individual teams out there. Al Hilal want Mbappe to be able to compete with Al Nassr, etc. And they're obviously trying to compete for the league. And their league is trying to compete with the other leagues around world football. And so they're prepared to go and spend huge money to invest in their football league to make it potentially the best league in the world in the future. And they've got the money to do so. So why wouldn't they want to do that? But it's just wrong. It's wrong. They're just buying football at this stage. Buying football. And obviously, look, I maybe would say this as an Englishman who has the best football league in the world in this country, the Premier League. The Premier League is obviously feeling a little bit vulnerable, I suppose, with what's happening over in Saudi Arabia, because we're having some of our players taken away over there. They're paying them the money, even average players at this stage. But certainly they are buying quite a lot of good players that you're seeing go over there because of the money and having their heads turned. Even younger players like Ruben Neves, Mitrovic, and etc. There's lots of players that are going over there because they can make more money over there than they can here, and I don't blame them. But what does it do to our product? Eventually, not right now, because the best players, of course, are still going to want to play in the best competitions, and obviously the money's still here in the Premier League. But eventually, if it keeps going in the direction it's going, this league is going to be watered down. La Liga is going to be watered down. All the European leagues are going to be massively watered down, and everyone's going to want to go and play in Saudi Arabia where the big money is. So it's just going to destroy the Premier League. The Premier League needs to put a stop to it, i.e., players going to Saudi Arabia. I mean, I guess they can't, because look, let's face it, these are obviously independent football clubs. They're making sales, they're doing their own transfers. But at some stage, the governing bodies, be it the Premier League, be it, you know, i.e. the FA, the UEFA, FIFA, all of these governing bodies need to just say no. It's just wrong. Smash a 1 in the chat, guys, if you think it's just wrong what's happening in Saudi Arabia. You know, fair play to them. Look, I get it. If I was them, that's what I want to do as well. Why wouldn't you want to get all the best players and get the best footballing league you can? But it's just too quick and too soon. They're not doing it the right way. They're just trying to buy it overnight, and it's a disgrace and a nonsense. Roy Keane would be throwing punches at these guys if he could, guys. It's a disgrace. So, yeah, thanks for all the ones in the live chat. Fair enough. If you're from Saudi Arabia, you're probably loving this. You're probably loving the fact that there's going to be this league that's got all these talents in there and that they're building it up there. It's obviously going to get a, you know, a big amount of people interested in it. Mate, there you go. Yes, as this tweet here says here, basically that PSG give permission to him to talk to Al Hilal. So that basically means that they'd be happy with the bid. Let's have a look at this. Thank you, Berber. He says a deal is accepted, Pig. Sky Sports. Let's have a little look and see what's going on here. Then let's go over to Sky Sports very quickly on my laptop here. Oops, I've gone over to skyscanner.net. Whoops. Skyscanner.net. I'm not trying to book a flight right now. Maybe I should try and book a flight to Al Hilal, see if anybody wants to buy me. You know what I mean? Okay. So let's have a look at Sky Sports and see the big breaking news. What's going on here? Okay, so here's the big breaking news, guys, on Sky Sports. Let's take a look. PSG accept world record £259 million bid for France international from Al Hilal. Outrageous, my friends. Paris Saint-Germain have accepted Al Hilal's world record £259 million bid for Kylian Mbappe. That is absolutely redonkulous, isn't it? What the actual fuck? The French champions have given the Saudi club permission to speak to Mbappe after putting him up for sale and leaving him out of their squad for the pre-season tour of Japan and South Korea, having made it clear they only want to include players who are committed to the club. Wow. So obviously, listen, this is a record-breaking deal they're talking about here. It's an obscene amount of cash that this guy's going to be paid if he goes over there. Obviously, they're going to have to try and agree personal terms with Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe clearly is being exiled over there, though, at PSG, so I'm sure he's going to want to go. I mean, there's only one drawback I see from a player like Kylian Mbappe playing in Saudi Arabia, and that is that, well, you know, it's not the most established league. It's like, even if you win the league, who cares? It doesn't do much for the old legacy, certainly not at this stage. Maybe in the future when this league is one of the best leagues in the world, but it's not there yet, obviously. But in every other aspect from a personal point of view from Kylian Mbappe, a transfer over there just makes a heck of a lot of sense because you're just going to set yourself up for life. He already is, let's be honest. But I mean, the levels of money they're talking about there is just astronomical. It literally would make him a billionaire potentially if he was to go over there and play. And he might even have the ability to, you know, get a team over there. Who knows what the deals would be for Kylian Mbappe? I mean, he's a big star player. You see what happens with certain footballing franchise or leagues when they try and acquire such huge talents to help build their nation's league. Sometimes they offer you the world, which is probably what they'll do to Kylian Mbappe. You look at what the MLS did with David Beckham, where they gave him the option to exercise a franchise, which he did into Miami. I believe they've done the same thing with Lionel Messi as well to get him over there. You never know. This could literally set up the Mbappe clan for generations and generations. So why wouldn't you want to go and play over there? It's only because of the fact that the league is obviously not as good as the Spanish league or the English league. In every other department, it ticks all the boxes for Kylian Mbappe. Plus, it's only a finite adventure anyway. It's not like he has to stay there for years and years and years. He's a young guy. He could still go on in many years' time after he set himself up for generations to be able to go and play for a different club in Europe, i.e. Real Madrid or someone, if he's got his heart set on that. So, yeah, I mean, if that's true and they've accepted the offer for Kylian Mbappe, which it seems that they have, then I don't really see how he's not going to end up there, guys. PSG don't want him. He's going to have to go soon. They've exiled him there, and they're offering him the absolute world. So it's a disgrace. But there you go. He's probably going to end up in Saudi Arabia, isn't he? Unless, like, a governing body does step in and stop this. But they probably won't because money talks and bullshit walks. And, you know, there's a lot of corruption going on at the top in football. And all of these guys just get cheeky little golden handshakes to keep quiet. That's the reality. And when there's that much money involved, you can understand why these people are impressionable. So there we have it, guys. I mean, we're going to continue with this news and dissect this, but for now, do us a favor and smash that like button on this video. We got 222 legends in here. Let's have a like spike. We're only on 90 likes. That's less than half of the legends in the chat have smashed the like button. You what? Bacon Brigade, assemble! And hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so. That'll help us out on this stream, boost us up there. Give us a like spike. And also, if you're new to this channel, we cover all the latest transfer news daily here. And we have a great community vibe. Make sure you hit the old subscribe button. If it's your first time here, subscribe to the channel. Drop a like and get yourself involved throughout. We do have a fully interactive show and channel here. So we do dip in and out of the live chat and see what you legends are saying. And we have a big Q&A at the end of the stream as well. That's right, superstar. Absolutely, at this moment, Mbappe hasn't talked to the Saudis. Only PSG have. So you're absolutely right. I mean, obviously, they may have put proposals on the table, but he's got to have that dialogue with them now. So, I mean, there might have been some conversations, but obviously, in terms of an actual, legit, official channel dialogue, he's got to have that now with them. But you know, surely they're going to throw the world at him if they're prepared to pay like the amount of money we're discussing here for him to PSG, then they're going to make him the most highly paid player in the world by a considerable distance. It's crazy. It's crazy money that's being bandied around. And obviously, they're not going to stop anytime soon. It's a fair point, though, Mr. U. He says football's always been about money, which is hidden under morality. You could say the same, I guess, about the Premier League in the 90s when they started to pay crazy money to players. You know, Alan Shearer, £15 million moving to Newcastle United and stuff like that. It all was a slippery slope, wasn't it? And I guess this is just the continuation of that, but on a global stage. Okay, so let's just talk about for a second if there's any realistic possibility of anybody else signing Kylian Mbappe. We've heard about the other teams that may well have shown some interest in Kylian Mbappe. I guess Real Madrid would be the biggest one, but they're not going to spend that amount of money. They can't match 259 million, I'm sure, for Kylian. Very unlikely anyway. And then there's obviously other clubs that have been bandied around here, like Manchester United, Tottenham, Inter, Barca, all the rest of it. It's not going to happen, is it? He's going to end up in Saudi Arabia, folks. I suppose if you're the Saudi Arabian League, what a great thing to do. Get all of these star players. They've got Benzema, they've got Ronaldo. If they got Mbappe as well, people are actually going to watch them. I've watched about one game, maybe 2 games of Saudi Arabian football in the last year. And the only reason that is because of Cristiano Ronaldo. So I remember it just popped up on my home feed on YouTube. Al Nassr were playing against someone in Saudi Arabia. Cristiano Ronaldo was playing. It was broadcast free on YouTube live. So I clicked on it and I watched it, my friend. Cristiano Ronaldo playing for Al Nassr. I watched it. I guess I would have never watched that if it wasn't for Cristiano Ronaldo playing for them, obviously. So that's the star power that these players have. And when you sign them and you get them in your league, obviously it gives the world a reason to watch you. And so they're trying to literally build a platform for their league. And I get it from their point of view. So it's a huge investment that they're willing to make to try and get everybody around the world to pay attention and to increase the quality of their league and increase the viewership. And there's no reason in 5 years' time that if it keeps going like this, where they're literally paying all of the money to these players more than anybody else is prepared to pay them, there's no reason to say that it won't be the strongest league in the world at some point in the future. Don't know how long that would be. I don't think it's going to be overnight. Of course, they're going to have to get that depth and quality in their league. But with the amount of money they're chucking out, it could well be the best league in the world in the future at some point. When they've got players like Kane and Mbappe and Benzema and Ronaldo and all these guys, just a matter of time, really, before they fill the places in all the squads with top tier talents, and everybody tunes into that because it's the most skilled league in the world, I suppose. Obviously, the Premier League is leagues ahead. It's miles ahead right now, of course, of the Saudi Arabian League. The Saudi Arabian League is not even in the top 5 leagues in the world, nowhere near. But it could well be in the future. So right now, nobody cares. Right now, it's very, very unlikely that people will really pay too much attention to it. But certainly if they're acquiring all these top tier talents in the future, in 5 years' time, who's to say that the Saudi Arabian League won't be one of the most watched leagues in the world? I think it could be if you look at what's happening and who they're bringing in. So to say that they are always going to be a poor league is actually kind of silly because they're just, crikey, they're getting the depth there already at this moment in time. Well, there you go, Max Martinez. You just said it yourself. You don't give a shit about the Saudi Arabian League. They are worse than the MLS. Right now they are, bud. Yeah, you're absolutely right, bud. But think about it for the future. So think about what happened with the MLS when Beckham went over there, yeah? Nobody gave a shit about the MLS before David Beckham went over there. Next thing you know, Beckham signs for LA. There's kids walking around bloody Scunthorpe wearing LA Galaxy shirts. That's the sort of effect that a star like that can have. Is you go and sign this player, you go and sign that player, you get the depth there, Thierry Henry, New York Red Bulls, all the rest of it. You get people to watch your product, and that's how the league has grown. It's not going to happen overnight. In some ways, the MLS has sort of gone backwards, obviously, but now they've got Lionel Messi. They've got Lionel Messi, and people are going to watch the MLS because Lionel Messi's there. So my brother lives in Minnesota in America. He literally sent me a message the other day. He was watching the Lionel Messi game live against Cruz Azul, where he scored the free kick in the final moments of the game. He literally said he literally told me he wouldn't give a shit about watching the MLS or watching that game, obviously a friendly, that game, if it wasn't Lionel Messi's debut and he sat around with his whole family and watched the game. That's the sort of effect it can have. So you've got to be honest and say that when you sign a player like Mbappe, when you sign a player like Ronaldo, it puts eyes on your game. And literally, I was down Asda car park the other day, no shit, swear to God, I was down Asda car park the other day, right? And this little kid and his mum and dad walk out to their car from the shop, and he's wearing a full kit wanker Al Nassr kit with Ronaldo on the back, and he even pops the fucking Sue, this little kid. So he's a Ronaldo fan, and he's wearing an Al Nassr kit, you know, that horrible blue and yellow one. He's fucking rocking that, mate. Down at Asda car park, my friend, in the UK. That's what I'm saying. These guys have that ability to get people interested in it. So I swear to God that sort of stuff is happening. That stuff happens when you've got these amount of quality players going over there. People are going to start paying attention eventually. Ronaldo's a different level, says Marco. Well, fair play, but if you're a little French lad or whoever, you know, surely Kylian Mbappe's going to be your idol. You might go and buy an Al Hilal shirt with Kylian Mbappe on the back just because you love Kylian Mbappe. Billy says, in fairness, Pig, you see all sorts in Asda car park. But it's true. Anyway, I'm just saying these guys have got the ability to change the league over there for the better, and that's probably what's going to happen. I don't care about it, guys. I don't care about the Saudi league, but I'm just saying in the future it's probably going to be really good. That's true, Burby says people support players, not teams these days. It's the new type of fan. That's a very fair point, yeah. So when Ronaldo moved to Manchester United, you got all these people who are not even United fans buying the United Ronaldo shirt. When he was at Juventus, same thing. Real Madrid, same thing. They fall in love with the player. I mean, let's face it, Ronaldo is the most followed human on earth on social media. He's got hundreds of millions of Instagram followers. Way more than a team like Manchester United. Manchester United, I don't know, last count, maybe like 60 million or something on Insta. Don't know, actually. Have no idea. But somewhere around about their followers. Ronaldo's got like 10 times that amount or even more. You know, it's obscene. People are very interested in these players. And I'm sure, you know, that obviously signing a player like that is going to do good for your league. Super League incoming, says Alan Partridge. Could well be. The world's gone mad, says Compost Smurf. Why Saudi Arabia didn't give an offer to Haaland? Eunice Barada, very good question. Well, I suppose it's because this latest influx of, you know, like Saudi teams wanting to spend huge money and acquire players and make it this crazy Super League. I guess it's only happened, I suppose, over the last sort of 12 months or so since Ronaldo went there. Before that, didn't really hear too much about them acquiring players for huge amounts of money. Obviously, by then, Haaland was already at City, but I wouldn't put it past them to go and table a huge money offer to them. But it's unlikely that City would want to sell. Obviously, City have got their own sugar daddy, super rich oligarch owners. So they're not going to really be open to selling, even if they were to prepared to pay like a world record fee for their player, because they know what an asset he is to them, and they're just going to weaken themselves. There you go, 400 million on Instagram last time you saw Ronaldo. That's obscene, isn't it? It's absolutely obscene. So yeah, so many people follow these players. You think about Al Nassr. Who knew? Let's be honest, guys. Let's just be honest now. Smash a 1 in the chat if you heard of or even knew about Al Nassr. I don't even know how you pronounce the name. Is it Al Nassr? Al Nassr? Al Nassr? Don't know. Smash a 1 in the chat if you knew who they were before Ronaldo went there. Smash a 2 in the chat if you didn't have a bloody clue who Al Nassr were before Cristiano Ronaldo went there. I'll just be honest. I never even heard of them, guys. So I never heard of them before Cristiano Ronaldo went there. Basically, had never really heard of any Saudi Arabian teams, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, there's quite a few people. Must place as 1 because of FIFA. Okay, fair enough. Most people saying 2. They never heard of him. I never bloody heard of them, guys, before. Never heard of them. So the idea is that, you know, that's what it can do. Everybody knows who Al Nassr are now. Everybody knows they play in like some really gash yellow and blue Sunday League type looking kit. Everybody knows who they are because of Cristiano Ronaldo. You knew them, but I seen in Dubai. They watched that league in Dubai. Oh, okay, fair play. So some people knew of them. Luman says he never even heard of Saudi Arabia. Only because a footy manager, says Compost. Fair enough, fair enough. So yes, there you go, Draxlos. He says no, he doesn't know Al Nassr. Didn't know Al Nassr. But now, obviously, everybody knows who they are because of Cristiano Ronaldo. So they are building a league. They're trying to build a legacy, and they will continue to do that over there with trying to buy players like Kylian Mbappe as well. So very, very important, obviously, series of events taking place this summer. It could be a transition, a change of power maybe in football. Not overnight. It's not going to happen. The Premier League's still the best league in the world. But give it a few years' time. If they keep buying these guys, they keep getting the managers over there as well. I mean, they are making offers to some good managers. Not Steven Gerrard, obviously. Pretty much says nobody knows Gerrard's team, though. What, our Titty Fuck FC? That's the only team I do know. No, Al Etifaki or whatever the fuck they're called, mate. You know, now people do know who they are, though. Because they're signing players like Jordan Henderson. They're signing players like, Steven Gerrard to be their manager. And I hear Marco Silva had a big offer which he rejected from a Saudi Arabian club recently as well. Like, they're trying to sign managers. They're trying to get good managers. They're trying to get good players over there. Eventually, it will become a much stronger, better league that people start to give a shit about. Right now, nobody gives a shit about it. But at some point, they will give a shit about it. Poor Saudi's got to learn Scousers, Bubba. Did you see that little clip from Steven Gerrard when he's been unveiled as the manager and he's addressing the Al Titty fuck fans and he's literally talking in a Saudi Arabian / Scouse accent? It's outrageous, my friend. It's outrageous. Goodness me, I do feel sorry for those guys over there. And Steven Gerrard, if he's learning the local lingo, speaking Saudi Arabian or whatever with a bloody Scouse accent, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? I mean, even just saying their name, Al Etifaki, sounded literally like the most Scouse thing you've ever heard. It's like, "Yeah, right, mate, my name's Stevie Gerrard, I'm the new coach of fucking Al Etifaki, mate." Do you know what I mean? Like, goodness me, have fun trying to get to grips with Stevie Gerrard's voice over there, peeps. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, hoot, man. I mean, I call them Al Titty Fuck FC, mate, because, that's how it sort of sounds to me, bud. But anywho, that league's obviously getting stronger and stronger because they're making these big acquisitions. And I'm all against it, folks. I'm all against it anyway. I'm all against it. So let's just do a quick rundown of what we talked about in regards to Kane and Mbappe. Obviously, there's no chance for anybody else. There's some report. Like I said, Duncan Castle's building sandcastles out there in the bloody media, talking absolute guff, to be honest. Duncan Castle says Kane and Mbappe, Al Hilal written off for a €300 million transfer fee. Paris Saint-Germain say they have received inquiries from Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham, Inter and Barcelona. It's guff. I mean, what is the inquiry? Like I say, I might submit an inquiry to Margot Robbie to go on a date with me, but there's very, very little possibility that that's going to happen, folks. So inquiries, I don't even believe that we submitted an inquiry. I don't think it's realistic at all. So that's what Duncan Castles was reporting. We got a report from Fabrizio Romano, though, that says this. He said that Man United are working on Hoyland. We're not working on Kane at this stage. Bayern sent our bid for Kane. PSG will accept a €300 million bid, no doubt, which they have now reportedly done so. There's no talks with Al Hilal Mbappe yet, but permission given. So that's obviously going to be taking place very, very soon. PSG still feel Real Madrid agreed with Kylian Mbappe, obviously, for the end of his contract at PSG. So they're trying to sell him now to Saudi Arabia. And that makes a little bit of sense. Yeah, United aren't really looking at Kylian Mbappe or Kane right now, by all accounts, from the tier 1 journos anyway. There may be other people suggesting we're looking at Kane, but in my opinion, that's not the case. We're working on Hoyland. And here's the rest on Mbappe. By the way, we've got a super chat here. Thank you very much for the super chat here from Avram Glazer. Get in there, my son. He says, Barry, you call him Barry? He says, Barry, if this Mbappe offer was for you, you would be already packing your bags to fly to Saudi Arabia and not complaining. Avram Glazer, are you mental in the head, lad? Would I go? Would I sell my soul to Saudi Arabia, go and play football in the desert, go to work on a camel, and, play against a bunch of farmers every single week for €700 million, lad? Just because they're offering the money at me? Of course I bloody would, mate. Of course I would. And so would everybody in this live chat. €700 million potentially offered to Kylian Mbappe. Even if it's bloody €1 million a week, I'm on the next plane over there, my son. Are you joking? Of course. You're absolutely right. It doesn't need saying. Look, mate. Of course. If I'm Kylian Mbappe, I'm doing the same thing. He's got the ability to set up his whole generational family for years and years and years just by going to play football for a year over in Saudi Arabia. Everybody would do that. Goodness me, I would crawl there on my hands and knees in order for the amount of money that Kylian Mbappe's being paid. Never mind fly. So, you're absolutely right, Avram Glazer. It goes without saying, pal. It goes without saying. Obviously, that's the reason why all these players are going over there. Why do you think Ruben Neves has gone from the Premier League at 26 years old? 26 years old. Why do you think he's gone there? It's not for legacy. It's not for accolades. It's not for trophies. It's not for, bragging rights. It's for money. It's so he can set his family up for now and the future many times over. That's why. I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. Everybody would do the same thing here if they could. I mean, you've got to have an obscene amount of money in the bank already to turn down an offer like that from Saudi Arabia, to be perfectly honest. You do. We all would, Suzanne and Partridge. Absolutely. It's just, that's how it is. It's huge money, guys, and it's hard to turn that amount of money down, no matter who you are. No, I'm not lying. Of course I'm not lying. I mean, you know, morals come into it, of course, at some stage, but crikey. They're talking crazy money. Fact, says Mark N. Absolutely. So, yeah, everybody here would be interested in going to play in Saudi Arabia if the offer was on the table. Right, anyway. So, yes, the rest of the confirmations of the different news, guys, in regards to Mbappe. Then we'll move on to some more pressing Manchester United news. So, Madrid Extra, this is via Fab that says that the feeling is that Mbappe wants to join Real Madrid. He wants Europe, not Saudi Arabia. Fair enough, until you're being offered hundreds of millions of euros for one season. I still think in the future, Kylian Mbappe would probably want Europe. Like, he may well, after he's lined his pockets, which he already has done at PSG, but if he lines his pockets over there in Saudi Arabia, at some point he may well want to go and play for Real Madrid in the future. If that's who he's got his heart set on, and that's his destination, that's where his dream is, to go and play football, then in a year or two's time, he might well be okay to do that. I mean, I was mentioning previously that there could perhaps be some sort of deal set up between PSG and Mbappe and obviously this team over there in Saudi Arabia, where they could allow him to go in a year or two's time to Real Madrid to complete that dream move for him. But when you're talking about spending 256 or 259 million pounds, aka 300 million euros for the transfer to PSG for this guy, they're not going to want to do that, are they? They're going to want him for a contracted period of time and to complete that obligation, basically. So I don't see any minimum fee release clause or anything being put in his contract to allow him to speak to Real Madrid in a year's time. So I don't know how long the contract could be. The talks will be undergoing very soon between Kylian Mbappe's representatives, of course, in the club. But the chances are that the amount of money involved is just going to turn his head and he's going to go, yeah, I'll go and play for them for a few seasons. We don't know. It could just be a year deal, could be a 2-year deal, could be a 3-year deal, I suppose. But you know, with that amount of money, they're paying that amount of money up front to PSG for his transfer. Surely they want a proper contract for Kylian Mbappe there. Let's ask the live chat. How long do you think Kylian Mbappe would go and play in Saudi Arabia? How many years, guys? How many years? Well, consider they're paying 300 million euros for his transfer. And they're not going to put a clause in his contract to say, oh, yes, if Real Madrid come in a year's time for 100 million, you can have him. That's bullshit. 1 says Junis Barada. 2 says John Boy Cat. None, says Bell691. A season, says Jamie Robinson. I mean, I find it quite hard to believe that they would pay that amount of money for a season for a player. You know, £259 million. I do. I know they've got money over there in Saudi Arabia, but I must say I do find it quite sort of crazy to think that they would chuck that amount of money at him just for one season. Okay, so we've got another update from Fabrizio Romano here on Twitter. Let me just give you the latest. So 20 minutes ago, he tweeted that no talks taking place between Mbappe and Al Hilal at this stage, just between Al Hilal and PSG. Al Hilal plan to offer Kylian Mbappe a net salary worth 200 million euros a year. It could only reach a reported 700 million euro package by including commercial deals, leaving 100% image rights to Kylian Mbappe. What the actual fuck? There you go, guys. So that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, it doesn't sound right, does it? But if you consider what, say, Benzema was offered, so it's understood with certain extra add-ons and bonuses and even just like, you know, percentages of revenues and things like that he could potentially get. Benzema's on 200 million euros a year over there, all told, which is crazy, right? Mbappe being offered a base of 200 million euros a year potentially, with the option to maybe, you know, get a lot more down the road in terms of add-ons, bonuses, portions of revenues and things like that. It's absolutely mental what's taking place here, but crikey, I mean, that's unbelievable, isn't it? So that's what Fabrizio's just reported. Obviously, the talks have taken place between Al Hilal and PSG. They've offered 300 million euros. Of course, PSG are going to accept that, 259 million pounds. Now it's obviously on them to discuss with the player, on Al Hilal to discuss with the player and to try and reach some sort of an agreement. But I'm sure with what's happening at PSG, with him being exiled from the squad and them desperate to sell him, that he's going to want to go over there. It might not be a 3-year deal or a 4-year deal, but it could well be a short-term deal for a huge amount of money where he stands to become nearly a billionaire. Outrageous! Right, let's just discuss the rest of it. So yes, You know, City reports saying that Mbappe could still be a target for Manchester United. That's absolute guff. Mbappe to Saudi for 300 million. Great stuff. I feel like we've covered the Mbappe stuff now, peeps. We'll let you know the breaking news as and when it comes, obviously, in regards to this. It is quite interesting. Doesn't really affect us too much at this moment. It's a player that, yeah, Man United fans around the world would obviously love to see play for us. We've talked about this before. Like, let me just ask the chat, guys, if you could see Man United sign one player, one striker, one forward player this summer, who would it be? Money's not an object here. We're not talking about money. We're not talking about realism either. If you could just sign one forward player this summer, who would it be? Kane, Mbappe, Hoyland, whoever. Let us know who it would be. Let's have a little look. Mbappe says, Boomy. I still with you, to be fair, Roy the Boy. I would rather Harry Kane because I think he's less ego, way less money than Mbappe, way less problems that will cause you, and he's proven to score the goals in the Premier League. So I'm still with you, lad. Harry Kane. Osterman says, Indy, Haaland, get out. Mbappe, of course, says, stay gold. Haaland, Harry Kane. Kane all the way, says Stefan. Cantona says, Primot. Kane, Mbappe 100% says the Vutinator. Kane's better, says Alan. Mbappe, says Jamie. Kane. But quite a few Mbappes on there, right? So obviously loads of United fans would take Kylian Mbappe because he's one of the best players in the world and he's young and he could definitely score us a heck of a lot of goals and just be a great player for us for a number of seasons. But the problem with Kylian Mbappe, as I say, he's got a little bit of an ego problem. He obviously thinks he's this big bollocks and he is a great player, but he's caused nothing but issues over there at PSG, really. And has he really lived up to the hype over there? I mean, it's hard for PSG, I suppose, to do anything on the continental stage because they play in like a French farmers league every single week. But ultimately, he is obviously a top tier player and he's a great asset. But it's kind of like the Neymar effect as well. Neymar's just not really the sort of player I would want to see play for Manchester United because of what he brings to the table other than his footballing abilities. He's a little bit of a crybaby. He's going to throw his toys out the pram sometimes. Maybe doesn't really care all that much. These are some things you could perhaps say about Kylian Mbappe. You know, it's the same. He's got an ego problem. So for that reason, I'm not really too overly interested in Mbappe. Certainly not for that crazy amount of money. Harry Kane's the daddy. Harry Kane's the one. If Man United could go in and negotiate with Harry Kane, that would be brilliant. Fabrizio earlier reporting that we are not, at this stage, negotiating and having any dialogue with Harry Kane. So that's what's understood at this moment in time, which is a shame. Not to say that we couldn't at some point. So this tweet from Fab just says that at this stage, Man United are working on Hoyland, not on Harry Kane at this stage. Bayern will send a new bid for Kane. PSG will accept €300 million bid, obviously, for Mbappe. But in regards to Kane there, Bayern will send a new bid for Kane. That's the latest report. Obviously, from Tottenham's perspective, they would probably rather see Harry Kane go abroad rather than go to Manchester United anyway. Maybe Man United are waiting to see what sort of agreement gets put in place between Spurs and Bayern before we go in and try to sign Harry Kane. Obviously, if United were trying to sign Harry Kane, we'd have to sign Kane and Hoyland because we're working on Hoyland now. Why would we be working on Hoyland if we're actually going to go in for Harry Kane? It's bizarre. So either it's just Hoyland or Kane and Hoyland, but that sounds way too far-fetched at this moment. It's exactly what United should do, but it's very unlikely. So there you go. That's the latest on Kylian Mbappe. Harry Kane, I think, is not realistic for Man United. He's probably going to end up going to Bayern Munich, isn't he? He's obviously a great player, exactly who we need. Ten Hag, on the other hand, may well want to go a different route, which is why he's targeted Hoyland because of how he plays, because of his speed, his pressing ability, maybe. Harry Kane's not really the ideal candidate to do that, maybe, in a Ten Hag team. So, we're still waiting to find out if United can get a deal done for Hoyland. Let's talk about Hoyland then, guys. Let's talk about the latest Hoyland situation. Thank you, everybody, for getting in here, by the way, for today's show. Fun show today. The live chat's absolutely popping off. We will be having a big Q&A at the end of this stream, so stick around for that. We've got 119 likes on the stream at the moment. Smash the like button, everybody. Keep dropping that thumbs up on it. And give us a share around. Give us a retweet. We will shout you out in a little bit. And, of course, if you're new to this channel, make sure you do hit the subscribe button. We're on here daily, giving you the latest United news in a no-bullshit way. So come and give us a cheeky little subscribe if you want. That would be immense. Right, anyway, okay. So let's talk about this, folks. Hoyland. So positive talks continuing between Man United and Atalanta for Rasmus Hoyland. United are expected to formalise their interest in the coming days. This is via Sky. So, hopefully we do send a bid soon. We've heard from Fabrizio Romano last night, but obviously Man United were expected to submit a bid for Hoyland over the next sort of week, sometime in the next week. There is a bid imminently incoming for Hoyland, and hopefully Rasmus Hoyland will be a United player sooner rather than later. There's many things that could fall down in that negotiation. Also, just depends how much money Atalanta want. Man United continuing talks with Atalanta at this moment in time. Hopefully there can be some kind of agreement made between the two clubs sooner rather than later. We don't want this going on all summer. Man United probably can get him hopefully in the next sort of week or two if we really step up on our negotiations for him. But Atalanta reportedly wanting 80 million euros, 90 million euros, 100 million euros, some sort of crazy figure around there. Their coach Gasperini obviously talking about the amount of money that he thinks that Hoyland's worth in that realm. That amount of money is crazy obviously for this guy who's only 20. And he hasn't even scored that many goals really last season. It's not really about the goals. He's got great attributes. He's probably a tailor-made sort of youngster to come in and do the job for Ten Hag for now and for the future because of his qualities that he's got. So you could only really look at statistics with a pinch of salt. But anyway, so I hope we get Hoyland very soon. We are having talks with Hoyland at this moment in time. He's obviously already agreed personal terms with Manchester United. There is one concern that I have, which is, of course, PSG hijacking the deal for Hoyland. Many different outlets, including people like Fab, reporting that PSG had talks with the representatives of Rasmus Hoyland recently and continue to do so. And if you think about it, if they're getting £259 million for Kylian Mbappe and he gets sold this summer and they generate that amount of cash, then they're going to have a heck of a lot of money to play with. And they may well be prepared to give, say, Atalanta more money than what Manchester United would be prepared to give them. And also, in terms of personal terms, they may well be prepared to give Rasmus Hoyland a heck of a lot more money per week than what Man United is prepared to give him. And, okay, we've heard a lot of reports that Rasmus Hoyland wants Manchester United and he likes Manchester United and he supports Manchester United and all this guff. But my favourite saying of the day, guys, money talks and bullshit walks. And if he doesn't, obviously, have his head turned and comes to United, great. But if PSG really want to make a strong play for Rasmus Hoyland, then they could do something to maybe change his mind. I make him super rich, give him a lot of more money than what Manchester United could give him. Because at the moment, he is a 20-year-old guy. And Man United, I don't think we're going in there with a hundreds of thousands of pounds a week offer for this guy. In fact, I heard a report yesterday that United's, it's obviously very speculative. I think it was Alfredo Padula, so you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. But Alfredo Padula reporting that, 4.5 million a year was the proposed salary to Rasmus Hoyland. Obviously, nobody can really know that for sure. These are just speculative reports in the media. So that's the potential agreement in place between Rasmus Hoyland and United, which, is reasonably low compared to what maybe PSG would be prepared to offer him. So we don't know exactly what Man United have agreed with Rasmus Hoyland, but PSG may well be prepared to spend a heck of a lot more than that on this guy to be a good replacement and a great future player for them as well. And it probably fits Rasmus Hoyland to be playing in that sort of a team. It is a Champions League team. It's in a Farmers League. He'll score a lot of goals. It's actually a great place to go to develop, I suppose, if you're going to get a lot of game time. And even in a few years' time, then he can go and play in a proper league. So I wouldn't rule it out. I think there's obviously more likeliness that he ends up at Manchester United. We are the favourites to sign Rasmus Hoyland at this stage, especially as we've already agreed personal terms for the guy. But a heck of a lot of money being involved from PSG may change his mind. So we'll wait and see. Where do you think Rasmus Hoyland's going to end up at, guys? Let us know in the live chat. Have a vote. Man United, Atalanta, if we can't agree a deal, maybe he stays, or PSG. Let us know your thoughts and opinions. I do think that this whole Mbappe situation maybe throws a little bit of a spanner in the works because of how much money they stand to receive and the amount of money they'll have to play with this summer if that's the case. Chris Barker, get in there, my son, John Boy Cat. Real Madrid, says Eunice Barada. You are. Arsenal for life, says not at United. Madrid, says Primot. It would be a big shame to lose out on this guy now after what we've done. He signs by midweek next week, says Mark N. La Liga, says Rajat. United easy, says Eamon. United, says Dutch Christ. Here or Real Madrid. United, says Don Gung Shilioni. Get in there, you beauty. Yeah, fair enough. Well, hopefully you guys are right, and hopefully he does come to United. Obviously, it seems like he wants to play for us. We heard reports yesterday that it had been made known that his preferred destination would be Manchester United, and he's already agreed to join us, obviously, in terms of personal terms. It's on now United to get that deal done with Atalanta. So we'll see when that bid comes in, hopefully sooner rather than later, but we are expecting to have an official written bid submitted sometime this week. Come on, United, do the deal, get this guy in. He's an exciting young prospect, obviously, should be an excellent player for Ten Hag's system, hopefully for now, and certainly for the future. It's almost more for the future that is really exciting for Rasmus Hoyland, because he's so young and he can be moulded, he can develop and hopefully turn into one of the best forwards players in the world and be a real goal threat for us in the Premier League for many seasons to come. We still probably need to go and sign another striker as well in this summer transfer window to help out and give us options. Maybe a more experienced player. Who that could be is, you know, very questionable. I mean, in regards to Harry Kane, so there's a few people saying Harry Kane in the live chat. Of course, Harry Kane's obviously going to be the daddy. He would be the number one choice for me, even if he's not the number one choice for Ten Hag, stylistically speaking, because of just the fact that he's proven to score 30 Premier League goals just the season last gone for shitty Spurs, and he could do that for Man United, I believe. I mean, Graham Bailey reports this, obviously take this with a pinch of salt as well. He says, as it stands, there's no sign that Manchester United are getting involved with the Harry Kane situation. So at this moment, we aren't having those discussions and the dialogue for Harry Kane. We are solely working on Rasmus Hoyland. We might have inquired, I guess, about Mbappe, or, you know, maybe had a conversation about Harry Kane, but there's nothing really strong, or there's no strong basis there for Harry Kane's possible move to Man United. Don't rule it out, obviously. United could surprise you. We have pulled off some pretty insane transfers over the years. I suppose it could happen. There's many factors and many ways that it could fall down, though, i.e. Kane goes to PSG. As we've just mentioned, they're going to have a lot of money. They're going to need a suitable replacement for Kane and Mbappe. Kane's an absolute goal scorer. Perhaps he would like a cheeky little jaunt over in Paris for shitloads of cash. Maybe he ends up going to Bayern Munich. So Fab reporting that there is to be a bid coming in, a new bid from Bayern Munich for Harry Kane. Bayern Munich can provide Harry Kane basically all that he needs for trophies, you know, to win things, which is really why Harry Kane wants to leave Spurs. I think he's happy at Spurs in every other regard, other than the fact that Spurs are an absolute bunch of bottle job losers and they never win anything and they never will win anything. No matter how good he is as an individual, they never win anything. Whereas he can just go and slot into that well-oiled German machine over there in München and fire them to many titles, fire them to many cups, and he will win many trophies while he's there. They basically win the Bundesliga every single season anyway, and he'll be almost guaranteed to do that for them over there, which means that if he was to play for them for 3 or 4 seasons, he's going to end his career with at least 5, 6, 7 trophies, a couple of cups, and almost the Bundesliga guaranteed every single year. So from that regard, Harry Kane should want to go and play in Germany. Perhaps he doesn't want to go to Germany, though. Perhaps he wants to stay in the Premier League, break Alan Shearer's record, win the Premier League title. Think about somebody like, say, Robin van Persie back in the day. Robin van Persie was an Arsenal player. He was happy at Arsenal, but he knew that he couldn't win the Premier League at Arsenal. So he came to Manchester United to win the Premier League, and that's all he wanted to do, was get that Premier League title. He wanted to win the Premier League title. Remember Michael Owen, when he signed for Manchester United as well. He pissed off many a Scousey over the years because of his comment after that game once where we won the Premier League, and he was interviewed and he said, if you can't beat them, join them. You know, that's it. People want to win the Premier League. It means something to people. Not everyone's just after the cash. So, of course, we would take Harry Kane's goals at Manchester United. Of course, we would have him if we could convince him to come. But it depends entirely on what he wants as well, and massively what Daniel Levy and Spurs want to do. So we don't even know if Man United will have the bollocks to actually put in a bid for Harry Kane at this stage. We should be trying to do that because he's absolutely proven to do the business in the Premier League. So we should be trying our hardest to try and sign the guy, but we don't know if we're even going to bother. Ten Hag might not value him the way that I value him, or he might not want to play with a stylistic player like Harry Kane in his side. Maybe he wants a more pacey, sort of pressing player from the front type guy, which is why we're sort of targeting Rasmus Hoyland, it seems. But Kane obviously can do the business in the Premier League, that's proven. So there's many factors. Will Spurs accept an offer from Manchester United? Would we have to pay an obscene amount more than Bayern to agree a deal? Because Spurs probably would rather see him go abroad, so they might accept a little bit less money to let him go to Bayern. They might want more money from a rival in the Premier League, obviously. So that's something you've got to factor in. Could we even do a deal with Daniel Levy and Spurs? They're notoriously difficult to do deals with. They want an astronomical amount of money. We could always convince them, but we've got no Sheikh Jassim here at the moment. We've still got the Glazer shithouses at the football club. So because of that, it's very unlikely that Man United are going to go in for Kane. He's probably way more likely to go and sign for Bayern München at this time. And if not, maybe PSG could turn his head as well with what's happened with Mbappe. So yeah, unfortunately, peeps, I'm not holding my breath on the Harry Kane situation. It would potentially be the best transfer window we've had for absolute years, though, if we could somehow bring in Hoyland and Kane. And that's exactly what we should be doing. We should be trying to get rid of all the shit at the football club, get rid of all those guff players. See you later to Saudi Arabia, Tony Martial, Bailly, Fred, all these guys. Bye-bye to West Ham, McTominay and Maguire. See you later on there, Dino Henderson, etc. Raise that cash, reinvest that cash, and go and get Hoyland and Harry Kane. And then we're sorted. Then we'd actually have a squad capable of challenging, I think. So that's what we need to do. But we probably won't do it because, let's face it, the Glazer shithouses are still here. And they always find a big way to disappoint us. That's a great comment there, Sing Games. Thank you for getting in here, everyone in the chat. Sing Games says, I feel all this talk about Kane is only to bring the price down on Hoyland. Good point, good point. There are links to, obviously, for us looking at other forwards as well, like Kolo Muani. I personally think the Kolo Muani link is to try and do that exact thing that you're mentioning there for Hoyland, to try and put pressure on Atalanta, to try and say to them, look, hey, if you're not going to be prepared to let him go for a reasonable amount of cash here, we are going to start looking elsewhere. We are going to look at other options. We want to pay, 50 million euros for the guy, maybe a few add-ons. If you're asking for any more than that, then we're going to go and spend a little bit more and go get Harry Kane, or we're going to go and turn our attentions to somebody who's a better value like Kolo Muani. So you're absolutely right. I think there is an element of that to it as well. It could just be PR guff from the Glazer shithouses, etc., or at least the recruitment team at Manchester United to try and drag this price down between Man United and Atalanta for Hoyland. Absolutely great comment there. I think that's fair to say. Absolutely. That would be immense, wouldn't it, Burberry says, funny if he goes to Bayern and Dortmund win the league. Dutch Christ says Kane's been injury prone throughout his career. Now he's more injury prone going into his 30s. Don't know about that, Dutch Christ. So last season, was he injury prone? Was he injury prone for Spurs last season? Yes, in his past, in his past of his career, he has had injury prone seasons. You're spot on about that. But he was able to score 30 Premier League goals last season for Spurs. He certainly wasn't injury prone last year in that sense, because he was obviously readily available most of the time to play for them and score those goals. So I'm not so sure about that, actually. He's actually at his he's at his peak right now, I believe. Sabitzer went to Dortmund. Check that out. Yes, indeed. So we discussed that a little bit yesterday about Sabi. So Marcel Sabitzer's gone to Dortmund. I think it was a 19 million euro deal. Correct me if I'm wrong if that's been reported today, but I think yesterday it was a 19 million euro deal that was on the table, which is about 14-15 million pounds, around about there. Smash a 1 if you would have had Marcel Sabitzer at United. Smash a 6 if you think, not really the right signing for us right now. Yeah, I'm not bothered about Marcel Sabitzer going there, guys. I think he obviously was a decent player for us. Somebody mentioned it yesterday. If we could have got rid of McTominay and got rid of Fred, both of those guys, we probably could have done with bringing in Marcel Sabitzer. But because we've already signed Mount and the players that we've already currently got at the football club, it doesn't really add up to go and get Marcel Sabitzer back. Plus, he does seem a little bit of an injury-prone melter. He was out of the club a little bit, even the time that he was here last season. So whether or not he could stay fit long enough, there's big question marks over that. But they've got themselves a good player there anyway for not a lot of money. So fair play to him. Dortmund, that's a good signing from them, I think. 6 says Boomy. Knick-knack. Luan would have him. So would Arash. Most people say no, he's not really the guy. If he could stay fit, says Berber. Kane's better than Hoyland, but he's an injury risk, says Dutch Christ. Well, there you go. Absolutely. Okay, let's just see what new stuff has come in. Yes, there you go. Fabrizio just reported that 6 minutes ago. Official completed. Marcel Sabitzer has joined Dortmund on a permanent deal from Bayern. Interesting stuff. Right, okay then, guys. Well, I'm just gonna do a quick roundup of what we've discussed very quickly, and then I'm gonna get into the live chat for a big Q&A with you legends. Thank you, every single one of you legends, for getting in here. Make sure you keep smashing that like button on this show. Drop a thumbs up on it. It's free to like the video. Help us get to 200 likes. We're nearly at 150. Keep smashing that thumbs up button if you haven't. Give us a retweet. I'll shout out everyone who's given us a retweet in a few minutes' time as well. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new to this channel, subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 72,400 subscribers. So get yourself in there by smashing that subscribe. It's free to subscribe and we cover all the news. We'll also be back on tonight around about sort of 10 p.m.-ish with another stream, maybe 9:30, 9:45, 10 p.m., somewhere around about there, with another stream to cover the evening's transfer news. Hopefully there will be some more in regards to maybe Hoyland or some movement. We'll let you know what's going on later on tonight as well. So subscribe, smash the like and click the bell icon. Right, let's just do a quick rundown of everything we've said. So as it stands, there's no signs that Man United are getting involved in the Harry Kane saga. In regards to Hoyland, update on Hoyland, we are having dialogue and negotiations, talking with Atalanta. So reports Sky here that positive talks are continuing between Man United and Atalanta for Rasmus Hoyland. United are expected to formalise their interest in the coming days. So, you know, hopefully we do see that written offer sent to Atalanta very, very soon. That would be nice. And then also, let's talk about just the other stuff very quickly that we talked about at the start of the show. So Duncan Castles, in my opinion, it's absolutely guff story, but Duncan Castles was obviously reporting that there had been some inquiries from Man United and other clubs for Kylian Mbappe, but obviously with Al Hilal submitting their written offer of 300 million euros and PSG accepting it, nobody's got a look in, nobody's got a chance. Plus it just sounded like a BS story anyway, in regards to, you know, us trying to sign Kylian Mbappe because of all the money that's involved there. It's not just the transfer fee you'd have to buy the guy for, it's the amount of money you'd have to pay him, and also his ego maybe puts off prospective buyers some of the time as well. So maybe Ten Hag doesn't even want him. So very unrealistic. That's just a BS story if you ask me. Fabrizio coming in with the sort of situation, the landscape as it really is, and he said that Man United are working on Hoyland, not on Kane at this stage, and Bayern have sent a new bid for Kane. Or they will send a new bid for Kane. PSG will accept 300 million euro bid, no doubts, for Mbappe. There's no talks with Al Hilal and Mbappe yet, but permission given. PSG will still feel that Real Madrid have agreed that deal in a year's time with Mbappe. So there we go. And obviously, you know, Mbappe to Al Hilal is the big story of the day, folks. Mbappe news, PSG give permission to him to talk to Al Hilal, which means obviously they've accepted that offer. Sky Sports reporting that they have accepted a £259 million offer for Kylian Mbappe from Al Hilal over there. Very interesting, guys. Also, shit, I haven't talked about this because, you know, it's pretty meaningless when you're talking about all this money involved and everything that's been going on, but it is news. Fabrizio Romano, Anthony Elanga has already completed medical tests and will sign contract as Nottingham Forest player today. Done. Sealed. Here we go. Confirmed. See you later on, Anthony. Good luck to him over there. Hope he has a really good career still. You know, good guy, good young player. Just obviously not good enough for Manchester United, and it's the right decision for Man United to sell the guy. Also, I haven't talked about this, folks. Sorry, I mean, crikey, we've had a lot to get into, so let me just talk about this. This is obviously in regards to Sofyan Amrabat. We haven't mentioned much about him. Some reports to suggest that Man United are only 3 to 5 million euros away from securing an agreement with Fiorentina to sign Sofyan Amrabat. United are the only club seriously pursuing the player at this moment in time. So again, there's positive talks there. Haven't submitted anything official, but there are some talks there. You have to take this with a massive grain of salt as well because, you know, depends on a few factors, but we are looking at moving players on now. Now Anthony Elanga's gone and we sold one or two other players. Surely we've got the money for a player like Sofyan Amrabat now. Maybe we're looking to sell Fred as well. And if we do, then Sofyan Amrabat is very likely to be wanted to come in by Ten Hag and Manchester United. So hopefully we see a bit more movement on Sofyan Amrabat very soon also. So great news there too. Hopefully United are in dialogue with Fiorentina for the sale of Amrabat at this moment, and hopefully they can agree a fee somewhere in the region of about 30 million euros. That'd be nice. All right, let's get stuck into the live chat then, guys. That's the latest news and the rundown there. Thank you, every single one of you legends, for getting in. I'm going to get into the live chat now and see what you legends are saying. Thanks for everyone for listening to me ramble on here for over an hour. Make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe and get your thoughts in now. I'm just going to click the Twitter link at the top of the chat. Go over there and see who's retweeted us. Shout out to every one of you legends that has. We've had 18 retweets on the channel. Thank you so much, guys and gals out there, for giving us a retweet. And shout out you legends. Anthony Ong, Jaden MUFC, J United in Gaming, Berber, a.k.a. Ryan, a.k.a. the Gaming Simp legend. Kieran, John Boy Cat, Feline Furudon, Stephen Prawn, Rogmuncher 007, The Butcher of Manchester, Sin Games, United Mark, ADV, Boomy, Kane, Luan France, Transfers _UTD, and Ada as well. Thank you so much, lads and lasses, for giving us a retweet. I do really appreciate it. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much, guys. Great stuff. Also, just quickly, Simon Stone says that neither Kylian Mbappe nor Harry Maguire is a target for Man United this summer. There you go. Latest from Simon Stone from the BBC as well. Thank you, Johnny M. I'm going to get into the live chat now, pal. Thoughts on the new away kit? I don't like it, Billy lad. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. I'm not a fan of either of our second, the second and third kit this season. I like the home kit. The home kit's absolute fire. But the other kit's a gashtastic, lad. I think the second kit looks like some horrible Newcastle United-inspired guff. And the third kit looks like some horrible Liverpool 90s-inspired guff. It looks rubbish, lad. I'm not enjoying it at all. Thank you very much, Johnny. I appreciate you, lad. Yes, Sin Games is legends for retweeting, absolutely. All right, get your thoughts and opinions in now. I'm getting into the chat raw. Thank you, Lee Bourne. Says, greetings from the Caribbean. Piggy, why wouldn't Margot Robbie go for you? She is human, just like us. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Just a world stage once a person's level. Lee Bourne, well, that's a good question, mate. I reckon I've got a shot too. Away kit, pure shit, says Johnny M. Don't buy merch, says Eamon. There won't be one today, actually, Ben Bray, but I'll be back with it more than likely tomorrow, lad. Thank you, Henrik Kjellman. Oh, it's horrible, Alan Partridge. I don't know what it's all about. Third kits are always gas, says Nick Knack. Don't know, I quite kind of like last season's one, actually. Smash the like, peeps. Best United channel out there. Thank you, Berber. Yes, guys, let's see if we can get to 200 likes. I appreciate it. Welsh Red says, could United bid for Tony or would they have to wait, says Welsh Red. I think they'll have to wait because of obviously he's got a ban at the moment. He's suspended, isn't he, for a little bit of time. Can't remember how long now, but didn't he get like a 12-month ban or something like that? I can't remember. What's your expectations? Probably the same old shit as the last game, to be honest, Billy. Just with a different colour scheme, different name. Same old shit, really, probably. Yeah, guff shirts, aren't they, Primo? I agree with you. Red one's a good one. The red one's fantastic. The home kit, that's absolutely brilliant. Hey, what's up? Big up yourself there, MUFC Realist TV. Thank you, bud. He says, big up Joe. Mbappe to are you our hilarious? Yeah, exactly. Crikey, I mean, they are making some strides over there in Saudi Arabia, though. Obviously, if their money wasn't an object, somebody like Kylian Mbappe is no way going to want to go to Al Hilal, is he? No way. But because of the amount of money they'd be throwing at him, anybody would. Anybody would, especially if it's a short-term deal where in a couple of seasons or even 1 season or 2 seasons or 3 seasons, he can go and play for like a proper club. Because they're not a proper club, obviously, but when you are talking about offering a base of 200 million euros a season, plus significant amount in add-ons and things, crikey, I mean, you would have to be pretty insane to turn that level of income down. So it's actually outrageous, but I am a little bit concerned about the Saudi Arabian League and what they're doing and bringing the game into disrepute, to be honest with you. So hopefully there's a surprise in the whole Kylian Mbappe saga. Hopefully there is a surprise. I'd still rather see him go to Real Madrid or something, but it's just not going to happen when they're prepared to pay 300 million euros to PSG and prepared to pay him a similar amount of money every single season. It's outrageous, isn't it? But yeah, they are completely ruining the game. It's crazy. Berber says, love all free kits, to be honest. Getting them once the leeches are out. Yeah, great shout, Berber. Thank you. Yes, make sure you boycott the kits until these Glazer shithouses are gone, guys. Hashtag Glazers out. Boycott the kits until they're gone. I like the home kit. I'll be getting the home kit for sure once those Glazer shithouses have gone. But I will not be buying that kit until they are out, just out of principle. Superstar says, we definitely need 2 strikers, to be honest. Too bad we're penny pinching yet again. That's going to be our biggest weakness this year. 100% Superstar. Yes, mate. 2 strikers is what's needed. We need to have quality up the top of the pitch, and we also need to have cover. You can't just expect, say, Hoyland to play every single game up there. And it waters us down a little bit if you need to have Rashford to deputise as striker. We need 2 strikers. Couldn't agree more, Superstar. The best scenario this summer is Hoyland and Kane, but it's obviously very unrealistic. Could go for Ollie Watkins. I mean, that's not a bad shout, actually, for another player to add to the ranks. It's actually pretty... not a bad shout. Ogaga, welcome in, my friend. Thank you, Michael Cooper. Says you're going through it. Yeah, you are here helping people like me through the mud with your content. Thank you, Michael Cooper. I appreciate you, my lad. Get in there, you beauty. Thank you very much. Love you too. Yeah, Dean Bruce bumper is a melter, lad. Nick Nack says, may as well let Brentford pay Tony's wages again until he can actually play again. Precisely, yeah. Jersey, away jersey's not good, 6 out of 10. Adidas kits have been rubbish, to be honest. I hope they hope for way better. Okay, so when Ronaldo first signed back to us, that season's kits, I think, were really fire, weren't they? So you had that old homage to that light blue and white kit that we had back in the Disney. You had that nice homage one. I liked that one, the third kit. Or was the third kit the dark blue one? That was really nice as well. And the home kit was good. But yeah, last season one's not so great. But I think the season before last kits were very nice. Rajat says we got 149 likes. Thank you, everybody. Keep hitting that thumbs up button, everyone. Drop a cheeky little like on this video if you haven't done so. Much appreciated, guys. Dutch Crisis Glazers have already been paid the merch money by Adidas, so you might as well buy United shirts, says Dutch Christ. Not doing it out of principle, Dutch Christ. Why those shithouses are still here, lad? Absolutely not. Home kit is a banger, Ronster. Bring back the Tesco carrier bag, says Nick Nack. Thank you, Stoic Savage. Appreciate you, lad. Legend says Sin Games. Kane probs only 20 goals a season at United. You what, Alan Partridge, lad? Smell my cheese, you mother. What are you talking about, bro? Dude, I think it's time for you to drive up to Dundee barefoot and eat a whole bunch of fucking Toblerones, lad. You don't know what you're talking about, son. What are you on about there, Alan Partridge, lad? Mate, he scored 30 goals last season for Spurs who were shite. What makes you think he would score less for United? I don't get that. You get an EA Sports FC 24 pick, says Bryce. The third kit this season looks fire, says Jamie Robinson. Berber says, yes, but if the sales fall, then when they renew, they get less money. Dutch, mate. Exactly. Laugh my arse off. Alan Partridge, I'm with you, says Sin Games. You still think Kane's a risk for how many seasons we can get out of him? 3 or 4. That's all you need. 3 or 4 year contract. Bag the goals in. Best years left of his career right now, 29 to 32, is probably going to be his best years. Maybe he might, I guess, start slowing down a little bit, but 29 still young. And he's at the most experience. He's scored the most league goals he ever has done this season just gone. Because Spurs have had 10 years to play with Spurs and build around him. Well, I guess what you're saying. I mean, he's the talisman, but, you know, I still think he would be immense. I think if he was playing for City, he would score more at Spurs. I think if he was playing for United, if he got the service, then he would score just as much. He will make the team better 100%. Show the levels. Mount 60 million, Havertz 65, and Kunku 60. Not even a close comparison. Sin Game says we don't pass to a striker at United. Kane will be wasted. Well, that's fair. Over the last couple of years, I mean, that's fair. But surely we can change things. Surely we can adapt. Surely we can change. Surely we're not going to continue to do that. But fair enough, I see what you're saying. Drew says Kane will play till 40. Doesn't rely on pace. Spot on, Drew. Exactly. I'm with you there, but 100% agreed. Okay then, guys. Nice one. Well, that's basically the latest news. I'm going to be back on at, 10 p.m. tonight, guys, around about there. Maybe 9:30-ish, somewhere around about that time. So make sure you come and join us later for the United news and the latest transfer news and goings on and a bit of banter, late night Q&A vibes, etc. Everyone, I appreciate you. That's a fair point, Jim Nick, but Harry Kane is skilled in every department it requires to be a footballer or a forward player. Creation, dropping deep, being involved in the build-up, scoring goals, movement, headed goals, all the rest of it. The only thing he's not got is the pace, which is fair. Fair comment. Thank you, guys. Everybody, I really appreciate you all watching this stream today. Really appreciate you guys. Thanks for getting in here. Make sure you smash that like button on this stream before you go. That is the latest transfer news at the moment. Mbappe to Al Hilal looks very likely. Hoyland and Man United continue, their potential, the potential love affair there. There's talks obviously taking place between Atalanta and Manchester United. We'll let you know as and when that progresses more to a proper written official bid. I want to say thank you to everybody who's watched, all the moderators like Luan, Hoopman, Sin Games, Berber, and everybody who's got in here and moderated the live chat, Primot, etc., Gung Shi, all the legends. Thank you so much for being here, moderating the chat. Thank you to all the members of the channel, the people in green, for supporting the channel and getting in here with your thoughts and opinions, and everybody else as well for having your say throughout the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. Much love to you all. Thanks for tuning in, guys. That's the latest transfer news of the day. Come back later on tonight with your thoughts and opinions about what you want to talk about later with the evening show. We'll be back around about 10 p.m. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com, for your latest news as well. And just have a good one, peeps. That's it from me. Stay classy. Thank you for getting your thoughts in. You can come back after and have your say in the not live comment section. And, get your thoughts in about Mbappe, about Kane, about Hoyland, about anything else. Come back after this video is finished and have your say. Follow us on the social media channels. The links are in the description. And I'll be back later to fill you in with what's happening and to have a good old chat with you legends and some banter. See you later on, heroes. Thank you for watching. That's it from me. Stay classy. Come on, United. Let's do some business now. For the likes of Hoyland, we need a striker or two. We're desperate for it. Come on. And Mbappe to Saudi Arabia. What an absolute farce. See you later, guys, with the latest news. Peace. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.